Hello and welcome to this episode of No Blasters with me, Micky Bartlett. So dizzy right now. I'm a dizzy rascal. I'm so 37, but anyway, today's episode we're joined by Lurgan comedy legend, and
I would say Northern Irish comedy legend. To be fair,
I would say comedy legend.
Do you know what? We'll just go with that.
Just go with that.
Yeah.
Universal comedy.
We'll just go legend.
Yeah, we're joined by the legend that is Micky Bartlett.
Hello.
We share some DNA, but not much. But anyway,
Still enough to.
more than what we share with, say, like an ape or whatever.
Yeah.
There's more.
Apes definitely have bigger hands.
Yeah, and like more than either of us would share with, say, a Protestant. We share
Yeah,
more.
100%. Yeah.
So anyway,
Damn dirty apes, then Protestants.
oh well, these are your words, but here. Today's episode, before we get into it, today's episode is sponsored by Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com offers the very best, the Champions League in male below the belt grooming. You've got pubes, pubesaway.com. You want to get rid of them? Manscaped, that shit.
Do you know, Kieran, I do have quite a lot of pubes right now.
Do you? You were just saying there you have a wee spot in your eyebrow and you can't see it. Do you know what would get that for you? A weed whacker. Buzz away your eyebrow. Now you will look mad.
Aye.
Buzz the eyebrow away with a weed whacker, and then or the handyman or the hedger, one of those, and then.
But I reckon I would get rid of the eyebrow.
Get rid
of the eyebrow, squeeze that. It'll look like your man in RoboCop when he comes out of the fucking toxic waste.
Clarence Boddicker.
Yeah, the guy's like, hey,
the other guy, yeah. I know.
Emil.
Yeah. That's great. Anyway, here Manscaped, right?
Yeah, great.
So use the code NOBLASTERS20. That's the word No Blasters, all one word, and the number 20. I think I drew it there. I don't know. No Blasters 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. We love them, they love us. This is the thing. Ball deodorant in the summertime. It's a great idea. Go get that. Ball wipes. Maybe. Do you know what it says on them? Great for dating.
Oh, right.
So maybe you've been in, maybe you've done a wee plough, right? And you think, I'm going to just quickly wipe that off and plough again somewhere else, another field.
Yeah. Like the head.
Here, see the ball wipes? They're helping you out.
Like ploughing, like.
Do you know what I mean? Just you want to keep yourself smelling fresh, like.
If you plough a bum and then plough a face, you're going to need a ball wipe.
Do you know what it smells like? The ball wipe. It literally smells like your granda's aftershave. Like you smell like a man.
We have a different granda, but.
I never met either of mine, so thanks for bringing that up. Anyway, Manscaped.com. Not because they ran away, they were dead now anyway. So
I only met the one.
Manscaped.com, no blasters 20% off, free shipping. Today's episode also sponsored by Joxer, the greatest bistro in this little acre, right? So Joxer have locations in Hollywood, Bangor, and Royal Hillsborough. They also have the best chicken and waffles around. So when you order the chicken and waffles in there, you get spicy chicken goujons that are all hand prepped. Then you get sweet waffles, which are a great time. And then they give you maple syrup, they give you sriracha, and they give you cinnamon butter. Which is, they're giving you everything you need there for success.
I'm not even getting paid to say this, but can I say the full Joxer breakfast is also fucking phenomenal.
That is phenomenal.
It's absolutely phenomenal.
You get it. It comes. Now, I don't know if they're doing this for me, because I've seen when other people get it, they get 2 normal size sausages. See, every time I order it, I get 1 gargantuan sausage. And this could be because I'm known on the streets here in Hollywood as Big Sausage. Now, the other thing that they do teas, coffees, buns, tray bakes, all those things. They do cocktails. They open late Thursday through Sunday. If you want to book a late table, use resdiary.com. It's a great place. It's dog friendly. It's kid friendly. It's a great time. Go there. Different menu at night time. We love Joxer. They love us. Last thing to tell you about our Patreon over at patreon.com/No Blasters. This is the home of No Blasters Extra Time, which is a whole other podcast that comes out on Thursdays where there's plenty of FIFA for the people that are crying in the comments about the lack of FIFA. I don't know if you heard this. I have vestibular neuritis. I haven't played FIFA in fucking weeks. All right, now fuck up. So
sorry with the cough there.
No, it's okay.
I've got vestibular neuritis as well.
So
what have you got? What's it called?
Vestibular neuritis.
Did he not play for Bayern Munich?
He does sound like a massive Greek centre back, to be fair. Anyway, so let's see. So patreon.com/No Blasters. We also put out our specials there. You can see Majestic, the Goblin King. You will soon be able to see Belfast Giant on there. Mysteries goes out there. All the Nevermind the Mock Blames are out there. It's a great time. Check it out now for as little as £3 per month.
It's a bargain.
Smells Bitchin' goes out there as well and offers on tickets. Mental. We updates and all. We'll have a new Smells Bitchin' coming, by the way, and we'll have the next one planned.
You're working too hard.
No, I was. See now.
Do you know what's on my podcast?
Done nothing for 6 weeks.
An episode where we answer questions. That's it. And look at me.
Do you know what he's actually secretly doing there? Advertising our Patreon at patreon.com/no So Mickey is back. You're back.
I'm back.
Australia. How was it?
Grand.
It's grand. Is it epic?
It was class. Man. I was flat out for the 6 months.
Right.
So went over on the 11th of December and immediately did a tour of the East Coast, which is only really 3 gigs because there's
a lot of space between those places.
Gaps between it. Yeah. And then I had like Christmas just fucking chilled, and then from January right through to the end of May, I was doing the comedy festivals and then tours and stuff.
I know nothing about Australian geography, right? What are the sort of places on the East Coast?
So you have the East Coast. You've got like all of it, and then you have Perth on the West Coast. So the East Coast, like Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne.
Right.
That's the 3 sort of main cities. I think Adelaide's like South Australia.
Right.
So I started off in Perth, then went to Adelaide, then went to Melbourne, then over to Sydney.
Mental.
I went Perth, Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Sydney, Perth home.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot. Like,
and came back broke. Like,
and what's the heat like? Is it brutal? Like, because it seems brutal.
I love it. Right. So like, Adelaide, there was a certain point in Adelaide around about February where it was hitting like 42 degrees, and it was fucking class.
See, that's giving me PTSD.
Good, but
that's Greece 2007.
It's like a dry heat though, so it's not like you just go, oh, it's fucking roasting.
Have we talked about Greece 2007 on this podcast? Because I'll talk about it again, but go ahead.
And then, but it was in Brisbane's like a tropical humid heat. That's stinky. That's Betty Swallock's like.
Aye.
But the Perth and Adelaide, and then I got sick in Melbourne because Melbourne's. I don't know. Are
you about to give me your personal information here? I'm so happy with that. That's, do you know what that is? The sharpness is coming back.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Absolutely it is. But I went from Adelaide where it was like 42 to Melbourne where it hit 19. And 19 degrees is roasting.
I know, but that's
like, but I was like,
that's gonna be
freezing.
Yeah,
right?
That's mad.
So you end up buying a jacket. It was pissing down, and because it's not hot enough to wear a jacket, but it's also you feel so cold you have to.
Yeah.
You end up sweating inside your clothes. So dose for 2 weeks.
I swack it.
Aye.
It's just fucking. Like
it was fucking stinking.
Bag.
And Melbourne's just not a nice city. I don't like it. It's filled with people that I can only imagine live in Melbourne, so they can tell people that live in Melbourne.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? You know the people that you know that live in London. And you're like, are you happy? They go, no.
Yeah.
But I get to go, I live in London.
Yeah. Like everyone who lives in London, they all pretend that they love it.
Yeah. So it's like that. Everyone's dead rude. Like,
do you know what it is, mate? See London. I mean, we've talked about this. I fucking flat out hate that place. Like,
me too,
I
man.
hate it so much.
Full of Brits.
I hate. Oh, mate. I see the vibe of London.
Yeah.
And yeah, people love saying, yeah, I'm in London.
I'm a 14-minute tube ride from the city centre. And you're like,
who gives a fuck?
Who gives a flying fuck? You have to sit in a tube full of other people's farts.
Yeah,
to go anywhere.
It smell. It made it all the tube. Do you know what I hate? That even the stations in the tube just smell. Have that dirty feet.
Yeah,
stinky.
It's when you blow your nose and black stuff comes out of your nose, and you go, "That's not supposed to happen to you."
Oh, I hate that.
Your water tastes like shit too.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Like
your
beers are crap. You don't trust anybody to give them a fucking pint glass, so everything's in a plastic cup.
Yeah.
So your pubs are crap.
They don't. No one trusts anyone.
Yeah.
Because there's so many cunts.
Yeah.
So like even when you are dead on, they think you're being a cunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, do you know what?
When
roll it all up into a wee ball, stick it up your bum.
When I went back to Perth after Melbourne, I was driving, and there was a guy loading stuff into the back of a truck. So he was in my lane, so I stopped to let him finish loading the stuff up, and waved.
Do they
at
drive
him.
on the same side of the road as us?
Yeah.
All right, okay, that's good.
So I waved at him, and he waved back at me, and I was like, I needed that. That's the warmest human content or connection I've had.
Yeah.
In about 5 weeks.
Yeah, I
was just
require that.
Like,
I require basic courtesy from other people, and when I don't get it, this is maybe this is an ish me and not an issue.
Like that.
I'm learning, right?
He played for
yeah. One of my ish me's is definitely when I don't get that courtesy off people, I go into a mad spiral of violent thoughts.
We were in a bar in Melbourne one night. We're in a smoking area, and I was sitting on a stool, and there was a woman standing with no stool. And I went, "Here, do you want that seat?" And she couldn't believe that I was like, "Sit you down there." Like, couldn't, like, that. That's how fucking up their own arses.
Should have believed it less if I offered it. I would never do that. I'm just like, fuck you.
I mean, I was hoping you said no.
I'm like, I know. See, I've learned.
I was only doing it because I wanted to ride her. Like.
How old was she? Just like 80 You're just like...
No, she's about 14. Shouldn't have been in the pub, to be fair. But here, if you can get past the bouncer, you get past the DNA test.
I've been in the pub. Oh my God. Did you ever be on a bus here when it gets up there? It feels like 40 degrees, but it's really probably only about 19. And old people get on and they just leave. This used to be more of an issue on the old buses that had leather or plastic seats, and they would leave that like a wee. It's like a, what even shape is that? Like an inverted V of just like bum gravy, just like fucking whole butter. Just.
Do you remember there was a point though where Ulster bus seats were like, it felt like they were designed that way, but it was just they were that old. The arse grooves of the entire populace,
but
had formed into
a shape. Yeah, but there was ones that were plastic that were that shape.
Aye.
Do you know what ones I used to enjoy? I mean, this is where we're at. We're talking about bus covers here on seats, but like seat covers on buses. There was one that was like grey and had like a streaky rainbow down the middle of it. Do you remember that?
Aye.
They were like fancy when we got. See when we got those on Ladybrook, you knew they had really great buses on Malone at that stage.
Trains in from Spain.
Oh, they were the shit.
You miss the old trains too.
I used to miss
the
trains where you can look at the door and actually see outside.
Yeah. I also remember like there was when the like newer buses came in, you couldn't hear the rattle of the seats because all the seats were just nailed in.
Yeah,
and they'd be like
I felt.
And then on a rainy day coming home from school, instant migraine. Like
do you know? Like I know I've definitely talked about this 100 times, but my memories of school bus on a rainy day was so I would get the bus at Blacks Road to go to Aquinas. So by the time we got to Stranmillis, like where the Ulster Independent Clinic is, that sort of area, once we got there, you'd been on the bus for quite some time. We were just sitting in fucking rush hour traffic, and see if it was a cold day outside, mate. It was steamy windows. And then somebody would just crack a rat out of their hole, like, and then and someone else. This was always the worst combo: eggy fart, peeled orange. Someone peels an orange. You get the acidity of both at one time.
It used to fucking drive me. See if somebody had a banana on the bus when it was wet. I don't know what the fuck that was. I'd be like, the texture of this bus and the texture of that fruit is making my fucking skin itch.
There was a mate of mine who's from Armagh who used to work in Belfast Monday to Friday and then go home to Armagh at the weekend. And nearly every week he would text me to tell me what someone was eating on the bus beside him or behind him. And one day he texted me and some cunt, I say it's unacceptable bus etiquette, like cracked open a fucking tuna and onion baguette on a sandwich. Like you... See if that's you. See if you're opening something that isn't just like a plain fucking chicken sandwich. Even then, it's gonna have that fart smell.
Do you know what would always get me too? Pickled onion crisps.
Oh yeah.
See pickled onion crisp, and the crumbs would be around the fucking cuff of the jumper.
Oh yeah. Cuff crumbs.
Yeah, and then all down there, and that doesn't come out of it. You have to wash that jumper. Them crumbs are staying in there. It's polyester.
Do you know what else? I had this problem with Queens. I would have gone to Subway Botanic occasionally, and I discovered pretty early on into my Queen's career that I could only go there if I was immediately going home after. Because see, if you sit in Subway, even for the time it takes you to eat that sandwich,
you smell like Subway.
You smell like Subway forever.
So yeah,
I remember that actually. I remember you said whenever I was first doing stand up, you were doing stand up about working there. That's fucking.
And you said that my bedroom used to stink of it, and we used to smoke cigarettes in the house. And you could still just smell Subway.
It's a persistent odor. Like to be fair,
the only
what do you think would be what would be the worst place to like get a stink on you?
So
her house probably, but like where else?
I don't know. Depends.
You're not allowed to say at a sex worker shop. Sorry,
it's a sex worker boutique.
Yeah.
The worst one I ever had, I worked at a chicken factory, right? I'll not name the company, Joy Park.
Right.
And there was one day that so my job was supposed to be just putting stuff in boxes and closing or just like on the line, like just making, like you fold the bottom of a box up. There's a box.
What are you
There's a
folding
box.
though?
Huh?
Boxes or
Yeah,
you
just
actually
just the cardboard boxes. That was my job. That's what I was
so
hired for.
you're not handling the meat.
Not handling the meat.
Right.
But because I was new, one of the supervisors was like, "Oh, you're." They thought I was a temp, so they moved me to this fucking. I think I've talked about this before, but it was making chicken Kievs, right? I was 17. I haven't had one since.
Here's my question about these Kievs, right?
Don't
Because
do it.
there's two types of
You
Kiev.
don't, right? It's the Moy Park ones.
Because
No,
there's a
cut
Kiev,
that out.
there's a Kiev
The-
that you make yourself, and Marxies will do this as well, where it's actually a literal breast, and they cut it, and there's garlic butter in it.
Wasn't that one?
And then there's the one that's like
The 4-pack.
it's a mousse made
Yeah.
into like a fucking
So that
shape.
would
Yeah.
they would bring a bucket of pink stuff. That the only way I describe it. Did you ever see Ghostbusters 2?
yeah, the ooze.
Imagine that
yeah.
bath,
Yeah,
right?
mood slime.
Yeah. And they would tip that into one end of this fucking machine, and it would come out in wee sheets, right? About that thin. And my job for the day was at a bucket about that height of frozen garlic butter sticks.
Oh,
And I had to just fucking do that, right? And then it would go through another machine, and they put another pancake on top of it, and then another guy had to go.
a crimper.
Right.
He was called the
yeah.
crimper.
He was like fucking folding the napkin,
Yeah.
and then they would put it through the breadcrumbs. And I remember coming home, and because the smell of it was, do you ever not floss your teeth for a while, and then you do, and you go, "What the fuck's that?" That's what it smelled like. And I went home, and I did that for 2 days. Went home and smelled like halitosis and garlic. And I remember, and the only reason, right? Now there's a worse smell, and I know what the worst smell is because at the time my dad told me this story, right?
Right.
So I sat down.
That's really funny.
But my dad, great cook, fantastic chef, made me a Bombay Bad Boy pot noodle for my dinner, right?
Right.
Or pot noodle sandwich, son. There you go, big and strong, right? And I took one mouthful of the pot noodle and I went, "That's fucking stinking. I can taste the garlic in that." And he went, "Is that you?" So he could smell the fucking.
Oh,
right?
fuck.
But he knew a fella that worked in the burn house in Lisburn.
The what?
The burn house, they burn all the dead dogs. Right?
No, hold on. Don't ever say to me, you know the burn house? No.
Do you not know it? Do you not know
the,
it's a
the
thing?
burn house is where I think a teacher called Mr. Byrne would live.
No, so well, my dad would put every time
burn house?
anytime we were driving from Lurgan to Dunmurray, my dad would point it out, right? That's the burn house there, right? Because it's a big chimney, and you would drive past it sometimes, depending on what time of the day.
Is it still there now?
I don't know.
Where was it? Because it's in Dunmurray.
It's not in it's in Lisburn. It's
Right.
Like do you know when you get like you can go straight into Lisburn or left, it takes you up into Dunmurray. If you're coming from Lurgan, have you ever taken that wee back road?
I'm trying to think where you are. So you can go left.
I'm also terrible at directions, by
you
the
can
way.
go left or go straight, and you're in Dunmurray.
If you go straight, you're in Lisburn. If you go left, it takes you on that big loop road round, and you come out the roundabout in Dunmurray.
Where that storage unit place is like?
Oh, where the McDonald's is? No, McKinstry, no, around there.
I don't know.
Right, no.
Either way, sometimes you would drive past it and you would go, "That's fuck," it would stink.
Right.
And like in the summertime, in the evening, you're like, "Fucking hell." But weirdly, you'd be like, "I'm starving." Right. And my dad said he knew a guy that worked in it, and he would come home, like he'd work there all week, come home on
I was
Friday
about
night.
to make the worst joke. I'm not making it, but I was about to
Doing
make.
like
I was about to make a racial slur, and I've decided against it, which is great. So go ahead.
Which one? Were
Well, if
gonna use?
you were saying like about being starving, the smell of dogs, I'm sure you can guess where I was going. Go ahead.
The blacks.
I'm lit, mate. That has made me dizzy. That has made me dizzy. Oh my god! Right, the burn house. You're on your way. You're past
home.
it. You're going past the dead dog burn house.
Go
You're
dead
starving.
house, right? And my dad's mate, I just spent the table. My dad's mate worked on it, and he said he would go come home on a Friday, get a shower, have another shower, and then go to the pub and start sweating in the pub, and it would come out of his pores.
Oh, dead
Like,
dog
the
smell.
Dead dog smell would come out of his fucking skin.
Jesus Christ.
So I think that's probably the worst one.
That's so grim. Like there used to be a stink. There was a stink on the M1 for most of my childhood where you would drive down past Kennedy Way, and there used to. I think the sewage treatment centre's still there, but it used to. I don't know if they were.
I remember that
I don't know if they were going open plan with it in the 90s, but it was fucking made. You would drive past there from Kennedy Way down to where the balls are now. It used to be a big roundabout there, like without without that tunnel. From there to there, just used to stink hard to shite like actual human shit.
There used to be on the motorway in Lurgan. There was a big housing estate built. I can't remember what it's called, and they hadn't updated the sewers for the extra houses. And there'd be I mean, it was like it would start and stop.
Yeah.
Immediately, like abruptly, but it was that you would think somebody farted in the car. That was, do you know what I mean? You would just go, somebody shit themselves. Like, the time you drive on your own, you go, I'm not well.
That's fucking mental. I'm trying to think. I think if I don't think I've ever really had to handle anything as stinking as a slaughterhouse. I've never had to do that.
Aye.
I think the stinkingest stuff I would have had to deal with was like people opening hams and jars of corned beef, or like what do you call it, like massive, like in Tesco, if they're selling corned beef by the slice, that comes in like a fucking industrial sized can.
Aye.
And I always just remember when they used to stab that with an opener and go around it, that it used to just fart jelly, and it was fucking stinking. I think that was probably the stinkingest thing I've actually personally had to encounter, like, you know what I mean? Also, to be fair, from doing music a lot, people would boke quite a lot. And I don't know if you have this, but if I see or hear someone boking,
I'm gone.
I definitely feel like I need to.
Yeah.
And this brings me back to a story where, because occasionally Chloe will sicken me with something that's happened. So she tells a story about she swallowed somebody else's snatter in a swimming pool when she was, right?
Stop talking.
I know, right? I know. I am.
Stop talking.
But I'm not talking about it anymore, because that's turning me to think, I know.
I can kind of deal with bulk. I can deal with blood, and shite doesn't annoy me. But see bogey.
Shite doesn't annoy me. Micky Bartlett, 2024.
Swear to fuck. Like I can change a baby's nappy, no problem.
And then there was this one. There was a time, I remember this in like what third year geography. Went in to the class, and it was a class in my year had been in there just before us. Mm-hmm. And when you went in, you just get hit with the acid reflux smell of fresh sick, right? And we all were like, I'm actually near broken thinking about it. We were all like, Miss, what the fuck? And she was like, someone was sick in the last class there. We were like, who was it? I was like, it doesn't matter. Someone was sick. And then later we found out who it was. I won't say her name. I really, really want to, but I won't. But anyway, she had boked all over the geography room. And I remember, do you know what got put down on top of it? Paper.
Not even sawdust?
Paper, right? And I remember going, do you know what it was? You know those like blue papery towels that they had?
Remember them? Paper, remember they used to be green?
Yeah, they were like a greeny, like a turquoise, yeah. So they've just set non-absorbent turquoise paper over it. And it was like 2 seats behind me, right? And it was fucking ganking. And I remember feeling sick and being like, Miss, can I like get out of here? And she was like, oh my God, don't be so dramatic. And I looked around, and quite far away from the splat, I saw 2 wee bits of what you might describe as Baxter's vegetable soup pre-cuts, right? Two wee bits of fucking carrot, right? And I literally went, right? And then I actually had to get up and go. I booked my ring up because some fucking tramp had booked hers.
I'd be the same.
But I did mine in the bog though, classy. Held it in until I got to the bogs. And those bogs were quite far away, by the way, because you had to go right down. I was on a geography of our school. You had to go to the bottom fucking floor to get the bogs from there. And this was on top floor.
It's fucking disgrace.
Do you know
we had it hard back in the 90s.
Here,
do you know what I mean?
There was no lift. You had to walk and all with your feet. Disgrace. Do you know what the saddest bit was? Walking back up.
Having to get your stuff.
I was 4 flights. Long flights, 15 steps of flight.
And a pair of kickers.
Oh,
that's not
shit.
comfy, like.
I had pods.
Yeah.
Poor man's kickers.
I had like
they weren't even. Everybody had pods, to be fair.
I remember having pavers pods.
Mine,
shit plastic ones.
See when I look back on my pods, the platform that ran around them was absolutely mental. Like, it was huge.
They were massive.
Like, it gave you about 1.5 inches on yourself. Like, if I could get a wee pod from a dick, I'd do it.
You can.
Can you?
It's called
Dick pot?
flashlight. I remember shoes was one thing, but I had the same blazer from first year to lower sixth.
Did you?
Yeah. My ma was like, "I'll do them the whole run." Fucking because
The whole
they were
run.
dear.
They are dear. They're
And
stupid as well.
Our blazer was navy. And they actually sent a letter home to my ma being like, "He needs a new one. It's purple now." Like,
To be fair, I think I might have done third year to finish.
Aye.
Might have done.
yeah, I only had 2 blazers the whole run. Like,
Yeah, I had 2 blazers the whole time.
I remember mine, there was a hole in the back of mine, and one day I was getting up, and the hole had gone over the back of the seat. You know the wee square, and then the 2 fucking prongs went down?
Yeah.
And whatever way I stood up, the whole fucking thing just ripped all down the back. And she was like, "You'll be all right. You have your school bag on anyway. Nobody'll see it." And her, the most house-proud fucking Protestant Catholic woman you ever met in your life, like. Is it the woman wouldn't let us eat in the living room? Was sending me to school looking like a fucking refugee.
My ma would have tried to enact rules like that,
Aye.
and within a day, there used to be, right. That's it. There's to be no TV in here on a Saturday morning anymore, and you'd be like, "Away you and fuck!"
Aye.
Like, this is live and kicking's on. You
Aye.
leave.
And Dax on, fuck's sake.
Yeah. CD UK.
Aye.
Do you know what? I need help in here on a Saturday to clean this place. I'd be like, this place isn't getting cleaned until I find out what the non-official number 1 is.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
You get out.
Until the beautiful cores have stopped talking about being beautiful.
That was
Old school sketches.
it was a great time, wasn't it? Whenever the cores were on TV all the
Aye.
time, and you were like 12.
Aye.
Talk on Corners,
just,
big
just
album.
not knowing what they were.
Oh,
It's three sirens.
three, and Jim.
And Jim.
Just,
Jim.
Yep, 3 sirens and a
Aye.
fucking cook. Bet you Keezy loves him, does he?
No, he hates him. Thinks he's a lunatic.
Keezy thinks Jim Core's a lunatic.
He is a lunatic though.
Oh no, but so's Keezy.
He's
No
not,
offense,
He's
Conor,
not really a lunatic. He's just going, "Told you so." Hasn't been wrong yet. Do you know what I mean? Like, get that vaccine? Did you get COVID? Told you. Do you know what I mean?
Oh mate, the cores, they were what times. I used to enjoy I enjoyed that album a lot. I liked pop music back then. I don't really like it anymore.
Fucking
Savage Garden. Man, great album.
I've been doing a wee fucking
Are we going back?
Do you know who I can't get enough of at the minute? Remember David Gray?
Oh mate, don't
White Ladder?
talk to me about David Gray. I love David Gray.
Unbelievable.
I know, mate, he is unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, not enough people know that. It's a great album.
Yeah,
Before.
a fantastic album.
He has an album. It's a wee bit later. I actually really like, not the one directly after
White
Ladder, but the one next. It's called Life in Slow Motion. That's a good
Yeah.
album. But then he did one. He has one called Mutineers, which is a fucking
That is
album.
this one. Do you know who were fucking great too? I don't even know if they're still going. Do you remember the Editors?
I remember them, but I wasn't mad at
They
them.
had one. Now, it
Were
was
they
like,
around the same time as the Cooks? I feel like I was
kinda early.
I was a Cooks guy.
I would like the Cooks as well. Had to, like very good. But the Editors was. I just had that one CD when I was at uni that would play off
See,
of my Xbox.
I had the Cooks album. I was in Cafe O yesterday, and She Moves in Her Own Way came on, and I was standing there, and one of the people was like, "Well, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm all right." I'm just standing here thinking that this song is older than I was when it came out, and it made me. I was quite melancholic until I had the first few sips of my Skinny Chai Latte. It was lovely.
Skinny Chai Latte. He played for Man U.
So, do you know what we were listening to yesterday? Chloe will pretend she doesn't love it, but she knows every word of it. The Veronicas, Untouched. Do you remember that? Dun 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 dun.
Oh
Dun,
fuck
dun, dun,
yeah!
dun, dun. Oh mate. Dun, 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 dun.
I
Do you know what is
Good times.
also a great time? I have to get Chloe on some stage to do this, but Chloe acting Britney Spears doing the meh.
go.
Give us a wee. Give me.
Do it once real quick.
Give us a wee.
Just real quick.
Yeah. Give us a yeah. Go on.
That's class.
We
That's
heard
like
that
somebody's
one.
asked you a question during a mouthful of food. You enjoying that? Yeah.
I remember we were listening to that song
Do it again.
over.
Sorry to interrupt. That's class.
I can't do it.
You can go.
Yeah.
No.
We were listening to Overprotected by Britney, came on a playlist yesterday. Oh, I'm protected. But there's a bit in that where she goes, someone else but me. And it reminded me of the NSYNC May, you know, it's gonna be May. And we talked about this for 10 minutes. Where does that come from? Because if you go, someone else but me, it doesn't sound worse, does it?
Is there somebody told me something once, and you'd know more about this than I would, but when you're singing and you're trying to hit a certain note or even like a certain volume, you have to change the pronunciation of words because nobody can go like me that high.
Right. Well, there's certain vowel sounds that it's easier to hit higher notes with.
Aye.
I think that is true.
Yeah.
But I think though,
But there's no excuse for it. And
I don't think
like,
there's an excuse there. It's gonna be me. It does sound shit actually.
The stuff
there.
that was coming about Justin anyway, the way he was treating her was a fucking disgrace. Kieran, if you ask me.
What stuff's this? I'm quite late to these parties. See today, do you know what I found out literally on the way here? That Ellie Goulding cheated on Ed Sheeran, and he wrote a song about it called "Don't," and we listened to it in the car. There.
Should have wrote a song called "Too Late Now." She's already done it.
I think he was meaning like, "Don't apologize to me because you're trash anyway." I think that's more.
You maybe meant he was like, "Don't."
Yeah, fucking. Do you know who I am? Don't.
Don't.
Ed, if you're watching, we're on your side. I'm gonna start listening to your music in a different way now. I identify with you.
I've been doing a little bit of fucking Taylor Swift listening,
right?
And I think she's a mad bitch.
I'm not into that.
Yeah.
I don't like her stuff.
I can't get into.
Do you know what song? Do you know what I really, really hate? That bit in one of her songs where she says, "And the guy over there with the hella good hair." What song's that? She does like a wee rap. Get down to this sick beat,
Oh,
and I'm
fucking.
like, oh. That irritates the Christ out of me, and I also hate that. In a little skirt.
Yeah. I heard someone did a slightly like grungy version of "Cruel Summer."
Cruel Summer though by
Taylor Swift.
Is it?
Not like
it's not Bananarama.
No,
Bananarama. Cruel Summer. No, Bananarama.
I think it might be Bananarama.
Yeah, from fucking
Karate Kid.
Yeah. When he's on the ride into the school.
Yeah.
Do you know what, mate? See the original Karate Kid film. It makes you feel better.
Man,
it's so good.
I watched it on. You want to fucking dance? Right? I watched that. I had it on DVD a couple of years ago, and I was watching the special features. I didn't realize Pat Morita got nominated for an Oscar.
He did,
right?
yeah.
Because of the scene where he's drunk and looking at the photo of his wife and his fucking right.
Yeah.
And they were trying to cut that bit out of the movie, and the director was like, "Nah, keep it in the fuck," and he got nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah,
for it.
it's a great scene. It's also. That's like a part of American history they don't really talk about a lot is the placement in essentially concentration camps of Japanese people in America in the 40s.
Fight the war, and then actually going to the war and being treated like shit by the American soldiers because they still thought you were Japanese.
And they put them into like
they're putting them
the
in,
worst places.
Yeah, because it was one. What was the name of the actual squad? Like the
442nd. Yeah, the most
It was essentially
Congressional Medals of Honor.
Yeah, but it was essentially South Park's Get Behind the Darkies.
Yeah, fucking Operation Human Shield. Yeah.
I should have said that one.
Yeah. Well, that one doesn't need to be cut. But cut that. What was I going to say though? I love the first one. Do you know what else I love?
The first one was good, but I think World War II was definitely better. There was just more planes.
Also, another movie that makes me feel good from the 80s, and there's a new one coming out, is Beverly Hills Cop. Are you aware that there's a fresh one coming in July?
I've seen the trailer for it. Doesn't look too bad.
It doesn't look bad.
It looks better than Bad Boys.
The Bad Boys trailer does not look good.
Bad Boys 3 was one of the worst films I've ever seen.
I haven't seen the third one. I haven't brought myself to it yet. I watched the first two, though, a couple of weeks ago.
First two's brilliant, right? But you know, see the way in the second one, the Meg Martin Lawrence's character, he's doing all the woo-sass shit?
Yeah.
Right? In the third one, he's still doing that. And you're like, that has to have gone.
Yeah,
you have to make my bad boy again.
Yeah.
Because he's not a bad boy at all. And it gets so predictable that it turns out the main villain is Will Smith's illegitimate child. And the whole thing's been about trying to get revenge on his dad.
Quite literally a bastard.
Yeah. And so the fourth one's going to be... It's going like Fast and the Furious levels of like...
It is of ridiculousness, whereas the first one's kind of grounded a wee bit.
Yeah.
The second one isn't grounded though. I mean, the second one has the chase with the
Ferraris,
the transporter, and their fucking cars off people.
But they actually blew up a mansion that house
Oh,
blow. That was a
fuck,
legit fucking mansion that they bought just to blow up.
Wow.
So like it had there were still practical effects on it and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And I think by the third one it was like just go fucking just CGI.
Green screen this
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, I
Also, I can't forgive Will Smith for.
I don't like it.
Do you know what I mean?
know. I don't like him anymore.
Yeah.
After the smack kid.
No, it was the Karate Kid thing for me. Yeah, that's kung fu. It's a different martial art altogether. You're in a different country. You're in China.
I hated that too. That was so bad.
The movie itself wasn't bad.
Jackie Chan's good in it, but
Yeah.
it's too much like the original
But it's the thing
in
was,
terms of like his character being just like.
But it was supposed to be the Kung Fu Kid.
Oh
But
really?
because of Kung Fu Panda, they were like, fuck it, called Karate Kid. And
Right,
then
I
it gave
didn't
it a
know
whole
that.
different fucking.
Yeah.
It made it a reboot as opposed to just like, this is kind of a slight
Do you
spin-off.
like the show Cobra Kai?
First series, thought was brilliant. Second series, I think I liked. And then it's got to the point now where I'm like, I don't know.
I love it, to be fair. It is. Do you know what I like about it? It's a bit soapy and easy, and it doesn't expect anything of me except knowledge of the 3 films.
Yeah.
Which I have.
Yeah, 100%.
So
And by the way, I want to address something that I think has been overshadowed many, many times in the Karate Kid series. When he kicked Johnny in the face at the end of the first film, it wasn't a legal kick because contact of the face, body, and sternum was legal.
yeah.
In the third movie, they made contact of the face illegal.
Right. Okay. That's
So-
good knowledge. That's good knowledge. That is overlooked. I didn't know it. I've
Yeah.
always thought it was an illegal kick.
Not at all, because they're getting hit in the face loads of times.
Yeah, because he punches.
So
He
when
punches one of them in the
when
face.
he's walking up, remember Mr. Miyagi steals the black belt, and Daniel's like, I haven't fucking done this
They
before.
do say head.
And
They do
yeah,
say
she
that.
goes
Yeah.
anything to the face,
Yeah.
sternum.
Yeah.
There you go.
You listened when Ali with an eye opened her mouth, didn't you?
Fucking you were right at it. Elizabeth Shue. Come on. That's an overlooked babe from the 80s.
Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really remember how much of a fucking... And have you seen her in The Boys, where she plays a bad guy?
No, I haven't seen it at all.
Turbo
Do you know
babe.
that The Boys was written, created by a guy from here?
Aye.
Garth Ennis,
Did he
big comics creator.
create... He was not something
Preacher
else.
and-
Preacher was the other one I knew about. Yeah.
He's done loads. What? He's from Hollywood, is he?
I thought he was from Derry. All right.
Interesting.
Maybe he is from Hollywood. Again, I did hear he's from Derry, from somebody from Derry. And I think everybody's from Derry.
Yep.
Nelson Mandela, fucking, he's from Shantala.
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson in London there. Who's to blame?
So, Dan, do I have any questions for Mickey?
Not necessarily for Mickey, but we've got some questions. if you want.
Sure, hit me up. Hit me up.
Steve wants to know if Pro Evo was made into a decent game again, would you ditch FIFA or EAFC for it?
Right, so I have some thoughts on this because what I'm actually thinking of doing. Some people have been weepy about the fact that we don't play as much FIFA on this anymore. It's because a lot of the guests don't play FIFA, to be fair, so it's quite awkward for them to come in. They don't want to be made a complete cunt off by me and whatever.
I mean, I did beat you the last time we played.
You did. But then there's also times where
It's been a rinse. Like, it's been nuts, yeah.
made a
absolutely.
cunt out of you. But anyway, so what I was thinking of doing was testing the new games on episodes in the autumn when they all come out, because there's going to be a new EAFC, there's going to be a new Pro, and there's going to be a new, presumably, this 2K FIFA thing. So we might test them and choosing which game to run with for
Good shout.
the season, and maybe put a wee bit more of it back in. But I'm intrigued to play that new one. I haven't played Pro since there was a bad FIFA. The first FIFA on the Xbox X was sort of shit, and I got the Pro in that year as well. I want to say 2021, something like FIFA 21 maybe was poor. One of those ones was shit, and I got whatever Pro came out that year, and it was okay, but it was shit in terms of getting a game online compared with FIFA. You'd have to wait.
Is that just because there weren't as many people
I
playing
think
it?
there's not as many people, and then when you do get people, there's not as many in Ireland and the UK, so
Aye.
you end up playing people from further away, and quite often then the connection was shit.
Aye.
So there was
There's always that problem, I think, when a new console comes out, it's always shit at the start.
Yeah,
Because I got the PS5 and I was like, there's fucking nothing to play on this.
yeah, and now
And
it's
now
epic.
it's like, this is unreal.
Yeah. So that's my take on that. I'm gonna try. So I promise in the autumn, when these games drop, I'll try them one at a time and see what one we're gonna run with for the year. Based on my feeling for it.
Eamon wants to know, are you aware of a new Wee Dirties location in Lurgan cheesesteak place called Taste of Philly?
I wasn't aware of that.
I'm not aware of that. I don't think we are we? I
Let's
don't
wrap
think.
this up.
I know. I don't think I'm aware of that. No. I wouldn't know a lot of eateries in Lurgan. If you were getting something in Lurgan, where would you go?
Man, there's a great wee spot, and they have one in Stranmillis as well. It's a bagel place.
Stranwages? No, different.
No, I don't think it's Stranwages. I can't remember the name, but I feel fucking terrible because they were talking to me about sponsoring my podcast and I forget. But unreal.
Business guy.
I know. Fucking, I'll hunt it out. I'll find it and I'll let you know.
There was so Stranwages does very dirty sandwiches, and we did a Wee Dirties there. If I'm going for a bagel, I'm going to Bethel's Kitchen in Dromore, and I will travel. It's fucking sensational. Have you been there?
I have not known.
Do you know what? It's worth.
Do you know where was fucking great?
It's not even that far from
Stranded Burger in Kilray.
Where's Kilray?
Up towards like Coleraine direction.
Right, okay. Stranded. You'd fucking need to be if you're in Kilray.
Well, that was the thing. So they were in Belfast for a bit. They did a pop-up thing in Belfast.
Right.
And this is about a year and a half ago. And I went round. We'll give you a free burger if you put it on Instagram. I was like, no problem. Fucking unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Will you give me 2 free burgers if I take 2 pushers?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, but
What
it was
do
like
I have to do to get
I got the Big Kahuna burger, and I was like, that tastes
That's
like
a great-
the
that's a
burger
great
from
name.
Pulp Fiction.
That's a great
That
name.
tastes what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable.
Big Kahuna burger. Oh, it's so funny. That's that Hawaiian burger joint.
Yeah.
I love it. Anything else, though?
Darren wants to know, if you could only choose to have one, would you choose a pillow or a blanket?
Blanket. Pillow? You
Pillow.
pillow?
I often sleep with the quilt just on my feet and nowhere else.
No, I go see what
Like
I would
every
do.
night.
This is what I would do. If the quilt, make the quilt into like a burrito type thing and roll the top up, you've got yourself a wee pillow.
That is good.
Do you know what I mean?
That is good. But what if it?
You just make a wee
A
foreskin.
man that asks you to choose between a blanket and a pillow knows that the blanket he's giving you is going to be too small for that. So if you roll it up to have your pillow, your feet are going to be out.
No,
Cruel
but
bitch.
because no, what you do is you do the lift and tuck. You lift your feet up, let the blanket slip under, bang, pin it down, and you've got a wee envelope.
The envelope's key. I
And
do
then
that. I only yeah, I only like having my feet under it, really. I get too warm.
I can't leave my feet out because of the monsters.
No, I I can't leave my monster out because of my feet. No, the
Because the smell is the same.
So what was I going to say in terms of like Australia and whatever? What's the plan then for now? Are you staying here for a while? Are you going
Staying
back?
here for a while. I think I always wanted to go out and just do the comedy festivals out there.
Yeah.
And haven't done them. I'm like, it's still very like industry controlled. And it sounds like a fucking thing I'm bitching about. But when you're a straight white man of a certain age doing stand up, you're not getting picked for any of the big cool things by the industry, even though it feels like the kind of like without saying like the woke thing, but it feels like people are now kind of they've been patronized by TV box ticking.
There's backlash coming
Do you
for
know what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
And
I think
not
people-
that I'm against fucking diversity. Obviously, we're big
Yeah.
fans, but I am.
But we,
Right,
but-
diversity
but-
played for Arsenal, and doesn't it? But and the gigs I was doing as well were kind of on the fringe of the festival. So now that I know how it works, I would go back out and do it again, but I would bring a compilation show
right.
because that's where you can kind of make.
Yeah, a
More
bit of coin. And then do you think though that stuff because I think that backlash is there where I think people just want to be made laugh, don't care who's doing it.
Yeah, I think
You
it's
know what I
absolutely hit that point. I think that there's been too many times where because the TV people are ticking boxes, they're putting people who tick a box into a position where they're
not
good,
ready for
they're
it
just not ready for it.
comedy-wise, yeah.
They're just not ready. And what happens? I think it can be really bad for performers' mental health as well. Where like all of a sudden you have someone who's maybe going 2 years, gets on a TV show and think they've earned it, and then realize at the other end of the show nothing else has happened.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! What do I do now?
Yeah.
And only because that's happened to me a couple of times with TV shows where I've gone, this is it. Oh, it isn't.
Yeah. I don't think it ever is it
Yeah.
unless you're on like, you know, unless you landed some long running
Yeah,
sitcom thing
totally.
where you're gonna get life changing money. Like,
Yeah.
that's never
And I
gonna
think
be
like
it.
it's just reflected on the audiences. Where like because and Melbourne's a good test for it. Like I did Melbourne last year, and there was a couple of nights where I was doing self-deprecating stuff, and they were like, don't even do that, like, or they would accuse me of fat shaming even though it was about myself. And then this year I
Fuck, they're gonna hit my next door.
Well, the thing is, this year I was going fucking hard after, because I was saying, like, I think the last 2 shows I had done were very self-deprecating, and I kind of went, right, that's getting boring for me. It's going to get boring for audiences. I'm going to start like making fun of other groups.
Yeah.
Or not making fun of other groups. I'm just gonna go a wee bit fucking darker,
Right.
and a bit closer to the line.
In terms of the shade of the group, you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, no, not the shade, but what's between their legs and women, bastards. No, but I was just kind of doing like this is a bit more pointing back at the audience type of thing,
Yeah.
and it was fucking killing.
Yeah.
Which nobody expected. I think a lot of people went to Melbourne with shows that were still very woke,
Yeah.
and were getting fucking yawned the whole way through it.
Yeah. There's so much out at Edinburgh. I couldn't believe some of the stuff that was on.
But that's going to get worse in Edinburgh. It's going to get worse in Melbourne as well, because they're pricing most fucking performers out of doing it. Like I pulled Edinburgh this year. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go. It was booked in and stuff, and I just went a fucking.
I think. I don't know if I don't think I'm going. I think if I am, it'll be for like a 3-day.
I might.
Thing.
Yeah, I might
you
call
know,
over.
Couple of gigs and come home like type thing. I'm not doing a full run.
But I think the way it's going now, you're going to have a lot of people who are upper middle class because they can afford to do it.
Yeah.
And have been in the
I mean,
arts
see
their whole
money
lives.
wise. Like I mean, I sold pretty fucking well last year.
Aye.
Like especially for a first run. Like, and we had loads of nights where it was fucking sold out, and I didn't turn any money on it.
Aye.
Like,
Jason
to
Manford.
be fair, we did stay in a nice apartment.
Aye. But that's the problem with it as well, is that like, so I think me and Willie paid, was it 1,800 or something for those student halls, and that's a lot of money to be shelling out when you're
what it
still
is.
having to pay your fucking rent and pay your car and all the stuff you have going on at home, and then you don't know if you're going to sell tickets.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like the amount of money that the venues are taking off you, or the amount you're having to pay to, like, you get a box full of posters and it's £500, and you go, that would be 20 quid.
Yeah. If
Any
you did
other
it
town in the
yourself,
world
yeah.
do it yourself.
Yep.
So there's so many of those we charge, and I've seen like Gail Porter, for example, who would do a show in the Gilded Balloon, I think it was, and it was like sold out in a big room. Went, I can't afford to do it, even though I know it's going to sell out.
Yeah.
Jason Manford put something up saying he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because for the same reasons, like even he's like, I will
It's
pack the run out.
It's literally a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
It's good to go if you're going to, like, if you use it as the gym.
yeah.
But my
just
advice
get good,
to anyone now is, if you're going to do the Edinburgh Festival, go over and do the free fringes.
Yeah.
Because you're paying £400 for the month. And then now, but again, it's the accommodations. I think it's fucking. And you're going to get the same type of audience going. Like, people will go to Edinburgh for a week and see everything. With that type of accommodation, they're going to go, well, why the fuck would I spend $2,500 for a week in a hotel or a nice apartment when I can go to fucking Spain?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Plus, you could do, like, I mean, as a performer, you could just do, I know it isn't the same, but you could put on you could do a tour here, do fewer shows.
For $2,500, you could make a special.
You'd have all that to show for it. I definitely felt like I definitely just felt like I'd fuck all the show for it, and I got really sick when I was there, and just had to keep fucking gigging, and it was like relentlessly shit, like, for especially the last like 2.5 weeks, which is a long fucking time to feel like that, you know what I mean? So I don't think I would do the full run again, to be fair. And so much of like there's a lot of wanking goes on.
Yeah.
I will never forget the feeling of dread and despair that I felt, because this is what. I think I've definitely talked about this, about the guy who's out in the street and he's like juggling like fucking chainsaws or something, and some guy, you know, the people that are with him are going, nothing to see here, just a man juggling live chainsaws over the body of his children, and you're like, fuck up.
Yeah. Game of Thrones the musical one year would come past me and Duck every day at the same time. We'd be standing smoking fags, just fucking like, this is killing me. And these fuckers would come past like walking in slow motion. I'd go, shame. We'd be like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I remember seeing like a bunch of drama students walk up the Royal Mile, and I was pissing down,
mate,
and
they're
everybody left, and they're in fucking full makeup, trying to like.
They're all like drama. It's all like, I remember one day in the quad at Queen's, I was sitting there on one of the benches in the quad with a mate of mine. We're waiting to go into a class. He was having a smoke, and a load of drama students came past and started acting something in front of us, and he literally just went, would you ever fuck off? And I remember just being like, this guy, he's got it all figured out. Like,
as somebody who graduated from drama, like I was never one of the fucking
one of them.
I was never one of them.
I know, yeah.
Because I only wanted to do stand-up, but I
they're
know a lot of
they're
it.
over doing like the fucking Brothers Karamazov or something in front of us, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting looking at them going, it's fucking 10:30 on a Wednesday morning. Will you fuck up?
I remember there was a crowd that once did like an avant-garde module in our third year and couldn't believe they got shite marks because they had red paint that was like supposed to symbolize blood. And I was like, well, of course you didn't get full marks because if it was avant-garde, you would be using blood. And I didn't even take
You're
that
just sitting there
I was like, I didn't even take that module and I haven't been in all year.
You're just sitting there with a bucket of your chicken blood going, smells, doesn't it?
This is going to be funny as fuck.
Unreal. Have you anything you want to tell people about the plug before we wrap up?
Comedians Boxing, get the fucking link on Patreon. I'm going on tour in September, so we'll start off in the waterfront on the 6th. And then it's going to go from the waterfront up to Derry to the Forum, and then all over Northern Ireland, down in the south. It's going to be in England, Scotland as well. So
Where are you doing in England, Scotland?
I think I'm doing Museum of Comedy in London. I'm doing Hot Water Liverpool, Oranmore, Glasgow, and Monkey Bar in Edinburgh. Lovely. But I've been away for 6 months, and I thought when I went, people are going to remember who I am. Like, I've done enough that there'll still be a few tickets sold. Incorrect. But I can tell you my show won an award at the Perth Comedy Festival.
Sensational.
And it was with new stuff too, so you
Was
won't
that
see it now.
a new personal best for
yeah,
Micky
new
there?
personal bit. Well
Thanks,
done.
thanks. It's less sharp a second time, but what are you going to do?
That's a callback, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucking...
Oh, brilliant. Well, good luck with the tour
Cheers.
and with the W front. Oh, before we do go, how did you feel about the mock bloom the other night? Did you have a good
Well,
time?
I had a great time.
So if you haven't, you won't have seen this unless you were there. But there's pictures, and there's already been a sticker made of Micky sitting with a bag of flour, which he made to look like a bag of Coke. And he looks like he's having a great time. He has a beer in one hand, a bag of Coke in the other, Coke all over him. And then apparently people at the waterfront actually asked the question, was that real Coke? And I'm like, do you think if it was, there'd be that much of it in the bag? Because it would have been about fucking 10 grand.
It would have been about 50 grand.
And
Don't ask me how I know that.
and do you think that the guy who had it all over him would leave it sitting there?
That's what I said. I was like, do you think if I had that much Coke, I'd be here?
Yeah.
I think it'd be at work.
You think you'd be
Do you know
going, I'm coming to the waterfront tonight?
Right, and that's what I was thinking. Like the people that were like, I hope they don't see Romeo and Juliet. They were like, hello, police. Look, there's two fucking 30-year-old people here pretend to be teenagers, and I think they're dead. Do you know what I mean? You watch John Wick and be like, somebody phone the UN. Everybody's down. Like,
pretend to be teenagers. I got called. Have I told this story before about the time I kicked the fuck out of somebody on Black's Path for a student movie? It took me ages to say that. I was like, for a personal vendetta that I had against this guy. No, for a student film that was being made, and I had to stamp one of my mates into the ground on Black's Path, and some woman did call the cops. And so the cops came from either side of Black's Path, so there was no escape. This is a wee dirt track beside the railway in Dunmurry off Black's Road.
right.
And they came and they took our names and all. But of course, when they asked me my name, I quickly gave the name of one of my mates who wasn't there.
Class.
Up a hoot, right? So what's your name? Kevin Hill. Anyway, so great times. So what was I on about? I can't even remember. Mark Blaine, was it good?
I'm dying to see the footage of because the things scenes we like to see.
Everyone says that was the best shit.
Everybody just fucking came to life.
Everyone said that was
Like-
literally the best shit.
And you were improvising some of the jokes, and some of them were like, I had one that I didn't do, right?
Yeah.
And I did a version of it, so basically it was like things you wouldn't hear on Radio Ulster.
Right.
And I was like, welcome to the Hugo Duncan show, skiddly D, skiddly I, motherfucker. Right? But I wasn't going to say motherfucker. I was going to say another word that's used in rap quite a lot.
Oh, right, okay.
There you go.
Jesus, right?
And there was a point where, so I told her, I was like, I might do this. And everyone was kind of like, Casey laughed and everyone else was like, don't do it. Like, it's not worth the risk. And I was like, I couldn't think of any other way to do it. Like, and then, like, when we're on stage, it was like, oh, motherfucker's way better. Like,
Yeah, it
why
is.
did that take me 2 hours to think of? So because I told everyone I was going to do it, when I changed the motherfucker,
They were all shitting themselves,
They're all
but,
pointing
yeah.
at me and laughing like, fuck, and then so I ran back to the mic to explain to the audience that there was a different version of that joke
Right,
that I
right.
told them about. But Geddes thought I was going to do it, so Geddes starts running after me and like rugby tackle me.
I can't wait to see the video of it. Like,
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
was a great time. Well, thanks for coming in. It's great,
Anytime.
great to see you. Great to have you
Glad
back.
to see you.
And
Get a bit of rest. Do you know what I mean? You've done too much. You've done enough. You've made the money. You've proved your point.
you've made the money.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, there's always more.
There's none left. Wars
Shane
are
has it
beginning
all.
all over the
Shane
world.
has it all.
Shane has all the money. Paddy McDonald's got a handful of it too. Give me something. You take the summer off, and I can do this no problem. Bonds.
I might literally get you to do those gigs for me next week because I'm still not right. But anyway, thanks for joining us. This has been a lovely episode. We will we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a million, mate. Cheers.
All the hurry chest and the best of luck.
Oh, no.